So, some of y'all caught my live stream last night. Shout out Team Rob. Shout out everybody that caught the live stream. And shout out to everybody that watched my live stream, shared my live streams, and show support. Mad love to y'all, first and foremost. But some of y'all caught my live stream, and we got into talking about the school systems. We started the conversation by talking about Oprah, who had donated $5 million to some white man's school down in Georgia. I forget his name. I forget the name of the school, but some white man's school down in Georgia. And we started talking about how poor the school systems are around here, as well as the conditions within the public school systems, and particularly in inner cities, that black children are subjugated to have to be a part of based on the area in which they live. I posted a video up on my Instagram about these children that were sitting in a cold as fuck classroom out in Baltimore. If you're not following me on Instagram, links in the description box. I need you to stop bullshitting and go and follow your boy. But I posted about this. And I want to read this article that CNN has put up about this, what's going on with the Baltimore schools. I'm going to read an excerpt from this article. Title of the article stated here says, Baltimore closes public schools after students sat in cold classrooms. It's disgusting. But I'll read some of the article here. It says, as temperatures plunged along the East Coast, photos emerged this week of Baltimore students wearing coats, hats, and gloves inside frigid classroom, igniting criticism from parents and others who wondered why these classes weren't canceled. Photos spreading virally online showed children bundled up in Baltimore schools where heating systems weren't keeping up with the weather. The school system closed 4 schools and dismissed students early at 2 others Wednesday, and closed all schools Thursday as low temperatures persisted citywide. Thursday's system-wide closures came only after parents and teachers union execrated the school system for Wednesday's heating issues. Criticism also came from former NFL linebacker Aaron Mabin, a Baltimore native who now teaches in the city. He says his first aid kit thermometer showed it was 40 degrees in the classroom on Wednesday at Matthew A. Henson Elementary School. It says, my students were freezing. Most were wearing coats, but some don't have them. Now, you have to ask yourself, or pose the question at least, as to why in the fuck is this even a condition of any schools in this great country, and I put great country in quotation marks, that we call America. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, incorporated. All the while, we're in other countries touting that we are the greatest country in the world. You cannot be the greatest fucking country if your racist ass system has black children freezing in a fucking classroom. And this is not a new thing that's going on in Baltimore. The Baltimore school conditions have been like this. They've been like this. If you look at inner city public school conditions, a lot of them are poor. From the books, from the computers, to the teachers themselves. Piss poor conditions. But this is what the fuck these children are dealing with. Some of these kids don't even have coats. That's bullshit. I've seen a lot of people wanting to shame these parents, wanting to say that, well, this is why I homeschool my kids. You see, that's a shaming tactic. Because in reality, if you are living in this society, good chance you cannot homeschool your kids, because you got to take your ass to work to pay for the fucking ridiculous amount of rent and every other utility bill that you have. You got to go to work. I get tired of seeing motherfuckers talking about, oh, this is why I homeschool. Well, good for you, motherfucker. But everybody can't do that. Everybody don't have a nest egg saved up, or another person run out here paying all the goddamn bills while you sit your ass at home and homeschool your kids. Stop opening your fucking mouth to say this bullshit every time we see what the fuck's going on in these public schools. Everybody can't homeschool, y'all. Most people people are fucking wage slaves, and we have to get out here and pay these fucking bills to feed these kids. Most people can't just lay up out of work. A lot of times, too, and people say, well, I just keep my, I'd have just kept my kid out of school. Well, a lot of times you can't call out and miss 3-4 days of work because it's cold outside. Who can do that? You maybe put your little PTO time. A lot of times you can't even take and risk losing those hours on that check because them bills is coming still. A lot of times you can't even do that. Shouldn't no child be in these types of conditions at all. And I want to know where the fuck are all these great, good-hearted, kind-hearted, non-racist white people. They don't give a fuck about what's going on in the inner city within these schools. All they want to care about or all they want to speak on is the product of what comes from these conditions. When they start talking about thugs and the hood and when they want to start talking about all that crime and all this, that's where they'll pick up and then have something to add to the goddamn conversation. But they ain't got shit to say for the conditions that these kids is even trying to be educated in. If you want to call this shit a fucking education, they don't want to talk about that. Because they don't give a fuck about black children. Whether y'all want to say they do or not, they don't. They care more about goddamn polar bears going extinct than they do the conditions of what black people having to deal with, and particularly black children having to deal with out here in these schools. This isn't new, y'all. This is not a new fucking thing. And then you have these fucking celebrities out here. I seen one of the sisters that follow me on Instagram. She sent me a screenshot of Chris Brown. Somebody had sent him this story. This motherfucker gonna say, well, he needs to investigate to see what's going on. Motherfucker, you don't need to investigate to see that the goddamn the school systems in inner cities are poor. The school systems in black area are fucking poor. You don't need to investigate that. You damn sure didn't investigate this fucking little white boy that was getting bullied. Did nobody have to investigate that? It just jumped to hell. No investigation needed. Y'all want to say, Rob, it's not the responsibility of celebrities to do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. You a hater. Y'all talk all that fucking shit. Talk all that shit. Meanwhile, Puffy building goddamn charter schools. Not saying there's anything wrong with the charter school, but that damn sure ain't doing nothing about the goddamn school systems that's already here that's fucked up for black people. And Oprah donate millions to white folks' school. Building schools in Africa and shit like that. I think even some of these other celebrities, they go build stuff overseas in Africa and stuff like that. But it's like they just turn their back on what's going on right here in their backyard. Schools being torn down and build prisons on top of them. That's what's happening out here. And it don't seem like nobody really even give a fuck that it is happening out here. And y'all don't want to hold these celebrities to task? Y'all don't care what's going on because y'all dumb motherfuckers too busy reposting pictures of, you know, two celebrities that go together and might be fucking or might be married. Y'all too busy posting their pictures, posting their material things that they got. That's what matters to y'all. Meanwhile, these kids are suffering. Y'all want to tell me that, well, it matters when you have black faces in high places. You have these black leaders, or not black leaders, I take that back. These black politicians in the would-be governments in these areas, just like in Baltimore. You got black folk out there holding positions in the government. Doesn't fucking matter, though. Y'all want to tell me that it does. Rob, you too hard. Rob, you just hating. No. I'm showing y'all and telling y'all what the fuck I've been seeing for too long. It don't matter if you got black folk elected in these positions. These black people that come into these cities, they know the conditions that the cities are in as soon as they get into office. How the fuck are the school systems still like this in Baltimore, even though you got black would-be leadership out there in the government, if black people are supposed to be able to, or are supposed to come in and make a goddamn difference for black people? Y'all, that's bullshit. And I'm telling you it's bullshit, because no matter where these black people are elected, the conditions won't change. Because them motherfuckers are not banging on white supremacy. That's the reason these schools are like this. It has nothing to do with anything but the fact that in this country, white supremacy don't give a fuck about what's going on in the inner cities. They haven't been tasked to give a fuck, and they haven't been called out on their hypocritical bullshit. But long as y'all got a black president or, you know, a black mayor, a black governor or some shit, y'all niggas is happy. That's bullshit. And I'm hating? No, I just see. Why don't you see? School system been poor for this long. They was poor when Obama was in office. I see motherfuckers want to blame Donald Trump for this shit. Donald Trump ain't responsible for this shit. Black people are. All these black celebrities, They're responsible for this shit because they could have easily been building these fucking schools up, but they don't, and they don't give a fuck. They get and want to buy 8 mansions, yachts, have parties, stunt, chains, grills, Bugattis, Rolls Royces. This is what the fuck black people doing. So I'm not. It ain't Donald Trump's fault or responsibility, and I won't even put it on bitch ass Barack. Won't even put it on his ass either. His coon ass. Won't even put it on him. You got all these rich black folk, and y'all telling me that black schools have to be in this condition. That's what y'all telling me. That's what y'all want me to believe. And when I come out here and hold these motherfuckers accountable, all you motherfuckers want to do is call me a hater. All y'all want to do is call me a goddamn hotep. Want to try to insult me like that because I actually give a fuck about your motherfucking black ass and your kids? Y'all want to shame the black people that care. Meanwhile, you uplift the black people who don't give a fuck about you, don't give a fuck nothing about you but stunting in your goddamn face. That's all they care about. How the fuck is this possible in Baltimore? How is it possible in any black areas that these are conditions that kids will have to go to school in? Some of these kids don't even got coats. That breaks my fucking heart as a black parent. That breaks my heart. And what breaks my heart even more is I know that you black people won't even care. You'll continue to run around here talking about how white supremacy doesn't exist and, you know, racism and all this shit's not really real. Y'all keep running around acting like don't nothing matter. They ain't shit jumping off out here, you know. Y'all will continue to act like that instead of looking at the situation for what it is. Why is this not a condition in areas where there are majority affluent white folk? How is that? Because a lot of this has to do with class, too. It's not just race. I'm not going to say it's just race because I'm intelligent enough to see a couple things going on here. Because I know damn well if there's any white people or white kids that live in these areas that go to this school, they don't give a fuck about them either. White folk might think they do. They believe they do sometimes. But when white folk around us, they get swept up into the same bullshit. Same thing happened in Flint, Michigan. It was particularly targeted towards black people that they fucked up the water system like that. But if you're white and you live around black folk, you're going to get swept up in the same shit. Because don't nobody give a fuck about you either. You lower class, working class motherfuckers haven't realized your goddamn power yet. While we still sitting around this motherfucker, still going to work, being wage slaves, haven't taken and understood our true power out here. This system can't run without us, y'all. It can't run without us. It can't run without working class people. Understand that. People can't take off work. Everybody can't homeschool their children. Like, get the fuck out of here with y'all black people out here shaming people because you can sit at home and homeschool your kid. That's bullshit. Everybody can't take off. Some people got to pay bills to pay, and they have to be at work to pay these bills. And ain't nobody mad about that yet. A lot of these schools act as daycares for children once they get into kindergarten. They just taking the place of the goddamn daycare. That's it. Because mom and daddy got to go to work constantly to take care of these kids. To buy them coats. I don't know how the fuck any kid lives in Baltimore and it's wintertime they don't have a coat. That's bullshit to me. That's bullshit to me. And we as black people got to start caring about this shit and make this type of shit go viral and bring this type of awareness to the game instead of, you know, wanting to post about Cardi B getting the top 3 Billboard song or some weird fucked up shit I saw like that. That's viral. Her accolades are viral. Famous black people accolades, they're made viral. But this shit right here gets swept under the rug. These schools been like this for years. For decades even. And they still are regardless of whether you have black officials appointed or not. That's all the fuck I want to say, man. This shit frustrates me at such a high level. It bothers me. Because I know these kids, you know, they're just kids, man. I'm not saying it would be any better if it was a high school, but this is elementary schools, man. This is elementary school. 40 degrees in an elementary school. 32 degrees is the freezing temperature water, if I'm not mistaken. You telling me these classrooms are a little bit warmer, and I bet you it's only 40 because of the would-be body heat that's being created. I bet you it's really even colder than that. If it was empty, it'd probably be even colder. These are the conditions that our kids are in. And somebody got to give a fuck. We know white folk ain't gonna do it. They act like they do, but we see they really don't. Or this, they would have been in an uproar about this shit too, but they not. I need y'all to understand that. They more in an uproar if you kick a goddamn dog than they is about black children freezing in the fucking classroom. That should let you know the type of climate that you're living in. Black people, we need to come together. Because the people that's going to suffer the most is going to be our kids. Every time. Even if it's just we're pumping ignorance or just turn a blind eye to the situation that our kids are in when they go into school. Know what's going on at your kids' school. Some of these parents said they was in an uproar, you know, that the school wasn't closed down, that the school was still functioning. And a lot of people was just blaming the other parents for even taking their kids to school. Motherfuckers got to go to work, man. They trying their best. People are trying their best to make it out here, dealing with and living in a reality where you're a goddamn wage slave. This is an unnatural reality that we exist in every way. There shouldn't be one school in America. And I don't give a damn if it's white schools or not. Even if it was a white school and they was in there freezing, I'm not that type of motherfucker. These is kids. It shouldn't be one school in America in poor condition. Not one. Not super America. That's impossible. Go spread democracy all over the world. Go spread our morals and values all over the world. America? 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. How the fuck do we have any school that exists this way in this country? Y'all share this video. Share the video. I'll post a link up to the article in the description box. If you don't want to share the video, share the article. Bring awareness. Send this shit to your favorite celebrities. Send this shit to the mayors and the governors in your cities. If you know your school systems are suffering in poor conditions, send it. Make this type of stuff go viral. This is awareness. And if nothing else, we're going to have to focus on these types of situations because this is the type of stuff that we should be angry about. We should be real mad about this. I saw a goddamn story where the motherfuckers in Oregon mad because they got to pump their own gas now. That's what white folk mad about. These white people were mad as fuck because they have to get out of their fucking cars and pump their own gas as of January 1st, 2018. They are furious about that. Sick motherfuckers. Don't give a damn about the types of conditions that these kids, because they just kids, don't give a damn about the conditions, not mad about the conditions that these kids are having to go to school in. They more mad about having to get out and pump their own goddamn gas. That's all the fuck I want to say, y'all. Comment if you feel the need to comment. I'm out.